as well. But yeah, I mean this matchup between like 4 copies of Glimmer Post, 3 green-black swords, the ability to side up to 3 Thragtusks. I mean this, I would not want to be on the zombie side of this. No way.
I mean, if he can contain him, if Quinn can contain his mana acceleration, and we've seen a couple of games with Travis already today, where this deck of course relies on its mana acceleration, the 1-drops, Elvish Archer, Palladium Mirror. If he's able to contain those, Travis only has, I believe, 23 lands in this deck, and that's not like a small number, but it's not a high number either. And Primeval Titan is a lot less impressive when it's being cast on turn 6 or 7 versus turn 3 or turn 4.
Yeah, part of the problem, I think, is that Kennedy doesn't actually have any of the big breakers here. He doesn't have cards like Arc Lightning or Arc Trail, or even Gut Shot to a lesser extent, to either 2-for-1 or be able to like generate tempo while he's still attacking. His best removal spell in this regard is Tragic Slip. And so I'd be concerned that like even removing, it's not the same thing as playing against the Infect deck. Like having a removal spell or 2 doesn't break up Wu's deck in the same way because it's so redundant.
Yes.
It's 16 mana accelerators. It's not like 4 poison creatures or whatever.
As we are going to see a Tragic Slip on a Birds of Paradise. Both players did keep their opening 7, and we are clearly off to the races. Travis is going to think through his second turn on which mana accelerants he's going to cast, and it's just going to be another Bird of Paradise.
A bird in a township.
And we're going to see a Grave Crawler here, which just... Okay, it doesn't mean exactly.
Yeah, Fume Spitter.
He does have a Fume Spitter as well. I mean, what you can basically identify here from Travis is like the next couple of mana accelerants that he does play are likely going to stick.
Yep.
You know, we've already, Quinn has already used 2 of basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of his removal spells to take care of mana accelerants.
Although Travis is without any more mana accelerants, nor is he with a second green, so he can't cast an Archdruid if that's in his hand.
We see a Glimmer Post in Travis's hand as well. And okay, now Avacyn's Pilgrim.
Oh, Avacyn's Pilgrim, sorry.
And this is not a common problem for Travis's deck. I mean, he is playing 11 4s, 4 Razorverge Thickets, and those are his green sources, so 15 green sources through his lands of 23. But, for example, if he does have like a Primeval Titan in his hand right now, and his 6th land is in the second green, he's not going to be able to actually cast it. And if one of the lands is a Razorverge Thicket, again, it's going to have a bit of a delay on it. So, as he had it.
Dang.
He had it, as they say. I admire a man who puts the top card of his deck right into play.
All right, so 2 copies of Glimmer Post. Yeah, the Glimmer Posts very, very subtly are a huge deal here.
And we'll see another Sign in Blood. So Quinn is going to be able to keep up in an odd fashion. You know, if one of the cards that he's drawn over these 2 Sign in Bloods is a go for the throat, he's actually going to be still doing okay.
Yeah.
Depending on what's in Travis's hand. But it really is a race, you know, to try to kill Travis before, you know, Primeval Titan gets out of control.
Yep. And it doesn't take that long.
No, not at all. It basically takes 1 come into the battlefield activation plus 1 attack.
Yeah.
And then things have really spiraled out of control. Township will be online. Glimmer Post will be out of his deck and into play. And things really do get out of control quickly. Not to mention that Travis is also at 21 right now.
Yep.
As we see an attack here for 4 from Quinn.
A Mortapod, a little late to the party here. I assume we're going to gun down the elf, and that's going to be a drain for 2. 1 for the Germ dying, and 1 for the Avacyn's Pilgrim dying.
Correct. And so some people may be wondering why Travis didn't block for this Primeval Titan. And pretty simply, if Quinn has a 3rd land plus a Brimstone Volley, or just a Tragic Slip, you know, Primeval Titan would have died there. So I think it's pretty safe to take the 4 points of damage from the 2 Grave Crawlers.
I think it's just Slip is the consideration. Because he's signed, he didn't make a land drop the previous turn.
Yeah,
but
right,
yeah, it's still Tragic Slip. There's no reason. I mean,
we're going to see a Thragtusk plus a Primeval Titan getting the 4th Glimmer Post and the 1st Razorverge Thicket to be able to activate the Gavany Townships now.
Right. So now these are Thragtusk is again another heinous beating against zombies.
A card you don't want to play against if you're zombies, man.
It's actually better for the 3-for-1 because you can't even trade 1-for-1 with like a third of it.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
Yeah.
A 3-for-1 is underselling what happens here.
And that looks I think he may have passed the turn back. I'm not entirely sure. May just be thinking things through.
I mean, you gotta at least ship some grave crawlers. And these are where the Sign in Bloods. Not that they've been particularly bad in this matchup, but like whatever Kennedy draws is so easily trumped by Wu's deck once it actually gets some momentum that I don't think you can spend your time kind of spinning your wheels this way. Like you just have to get on the board and try to win the game quickly.
Yeah.
Kill the mana accelerants, and because like once he starts casting Thrytos and Primeval Titans, it doesn't actually matter what you're drawing. Like
Yeah, you're drawing 2/1s or Blood Artist or Diregraph Ghouls, just things that aren't really having high impact on the board compared to what Travis is doing.
So Wu contemplating a block here on the 2 grave crawlers. He's just going to take it.
Moving him down to a rather comfortable 16. And we're going to see again the Diregraph Ghoul. If he has to go for the throw, definitely going to cast it now. On a little drain for 1, going to move Travis down to 15, I believe, and Quinn Kennedy up to 16. Or excuse me, up to 11. Now it's Thraktos versus.
Wu has all the mana in the world, but I'm not sure he has any actual follow-up play.
Yeah.
Although at this point, like any mana accelerant is pretty valuable because he has the Gavany Township. So every threat, any creature basically becomes a pretty awesome threat here.
Basically, any non-land in Travis's deck is a good draw. Zenith is a good draw. Any of his creatures are a good draw, and Sword of Feast and Famine is a fantastic draw.
Yes.
So.
A number of good draws. Basically, just lands or bricks, and everything else is good. And this attack right here represents that he has some amount of action, right? Because the Thraktos is so valuable on D.
No, I would like to believe he does. Okay, and there's the donks.
Couple knuckleheads. An Archdruid and an Avacyn's Pilgrim.
Now, you won't be able to activate Township this turn, but a couple knuckleheads will get the job done. For now, I mean, buy enough time.
Yep. Now Kennedy can start kind of grinding down a little bit with Mortipod, Gravecrawler, Blood Artist. It's a very slow, but it is it's definitely a path if he draws a bunch of lands and the game kind of slows down or it's close to a parity in race, where he can give himself some breathing room with some life gain and possibly even punk him out of the game. I have to assume that you're compelled somewhat to like try to kill some guys here before Wu gets to untap with his townships.
Yeah, I would agree. I think you can't really let those things. I don't think one activation is even okay.
Right.
You kind of want to get these things off the board. I think attacking first is the easiest part with the Grave Crawlers, potentially the Diregraph Ghoul as well. Little surprised to see that hang back, but I guess it may just want to chump block the Thraktos this turn.
Sure.
And he's going to take care of that. And 2 drains from the Blood Artiste.
And we're going to recast.
Recasting Gravecrawler and simply passing back.
Do you like that better than just finishing off the Archdruid by like moving Mortipod over?
I think I would have rather moved the Mortipod over personally. Moving on one of the Gravecrawlers, throwing the Germ Token, and then just one of the zombies at the Archdruid.
Yeah.
And then it's just Thraktos versus my board. Maybe he has something to do with that spare 1 mana that we don't see. Maybe there's a Tragic Slip hanging out, but again, I think that he would have likely cast the Tragic Slip.
Yeah. I assume we would have killed the Thraktos. Maybe not. I mean, maybe you want to save it for a Primeval Titan if that were to happen, but... So, I mean, it seems like now you're kind of in the Blood Artist squeeze here where Wu can't really attack because he doesn't really get a lot of traction on the board, and he needs to leave his guys back on D. But if he does leave his guys back on D, then Blood Artist, Gravecrawler, Mortapod starts becoming a thing. Like,
Yeah.
he's under the gun here.
Starts becoming a very, very real thing.
So it's gonna send the Thragtusk in.
Travis's best draw right now, without a doubt, is Sword of Feast and Famine. I think without question. He's going to block here.
So this is gonna be a drain for 1 here, a chump block and a drain for 1.
Now, Travis is going to end up losing 2 in the exchange, and then Quinn is going to end up gaining 1 life. We'll see a Bird of Paradise.
Actually, a fine draw here again because of Gavany Township. The bird's actually valuable also as another source of white mana, so the second township can start doing its thing.
Indeed.
I think Quinn's hand's a little land heavy.
Still looks to be doing okay, though.
Oh, yeah. This is not a bad spot to be in. So I think he's debating about whether or not he wants to send the Diregraph Ghoul in as well, because the Gravecrawlers are pretty much a free roll to attack with.
Yeah, the Gravecrawlers are 100% attacking. I personally felt like he should have attacked with Diregraph Ghoul last turn.
Yeah.
I feel like he may have missed 2 free points of damage. This turn, again, I feel like it should probably be coming in. It's also, you know, dependent on his hand, but it looks like, yeah, this time he's gonna he's gonna send in with all 3. Let's see an Archer would jump in the way of this.
Yeah.
This one. Yeah.
So we're going to see a township activation here.
And 1. Okay.
So the bird trades with the Gravecrawler, and the Archdruid just eats the Diregraph Ghoul.
So there will be 3 drains plus 2 from the Gravecrawler coming through. So Travis is going to end up losing what looks to be 5 life in the exchange. And Quinn is going to end up gaining 3. Blood Artist really doing a lot of work in this board state. And it's a card that Travis has no way to get off of the board.
He's going to recast the Gravecrawler here out of the graveyard. Mortapod. So now does he finish off the Archdruid? Yeah.
Yep.
There's a drain for 2.
It'll be a drain for 2, putting Travis down to 4, and Quinn up to 14. He's whittling him away. I mean, he's almost, as we've seen equipped there, he's almost got him dead. That's gonna do it.
Well, that's Mortapod, Gravecrawler doing some real work.
Give it enough mana, enough time. There's nothing you can really do about it.
Yep. So going to the board here.
Halt.
Oh,
Halt.
trivia time.
Who goes there?
My bad.
The trivia monster is here.
For 1 year this time.
And of course, we didn't even talk about it, but I know I have to think of the question.
Well,
It's a good thing. It's a good thing that I was on the ball.
Well, during the legacy portion, then I'll do 2 and you'll do 1, and we'll be even on the weekend.
We heard it. You heard it.
I'll do the 3 month and the 1 year.
Okay.
We'll just switch it back.
I'm just glad you made a commitment, because you can't go back on your word.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, everyone's watching or whatever.
That's correct.
There's no choice.
Good. You guys are all my
witnesses.
evidence, all my witnesses. For 1 full year, another corny question from my brain. Travis Wu is playing a deck in this tournament. Perhaps you just saw it. Playing a deck, 60 cards. He has a name for this deck that we typically put on the screen. And if you know the name of the deck, tweet it to @SCGPremium, and you'll win. Wait, you don't like the question?
No, you need to be a little more difficult than that because it's actually on the screen.
Okay, all right. I thought that it's a good name. It's a good name. All right. Help.
Oh my God.
Help.
Why is it called?
Oh my God.
That's not a good question. It's too wordy.
Yeah. No one actually knows.
Help.
Um.
I'm in the weeds. I'm falling apart. I'm falling apart in front of our live audience.
Please name the potentially significant piece of equipment found in Travis Wu's Green Summer deck. If you have the answer,
Green Summer was the answer to the last question.
right, tweet it to @SCG Premium for your opportunity to win 1 free year. Again, what piece of equipment is in Travis Wu's Green Summer deck that is potentially troubling for our black-red zombies player?
3 copies of it.
Yeah.
3 copies.
In the main deck. He also has equipment in the sideboard. Not looking for that answer. Just the one in the main
We're
deck.
looking for the 3 copies of equipment in the main deck. If you know the name of this equipment, tweet the answer to @SCG Premium. You can thank me for the easy question.
The fact that it's on the screen is just so awesome. It's like,
I didn't realize that. No, I'm not
like-
smart.
our trivia question is, can you read? If so,
if you can read, tweet that
yeah.
to SCG Premium.
Just let us know, and
then
we might.
you can read more, because we're going to give you a year of premium.
All right, so now you're on the hook for 2 during the legacy. Although maybe I should just jump in and.
No, I'm on the hook for 2 during Legacy. That was an embarrassing state of affairs. I'm actually sorry.
All right, so sideboard time here. I assume that Travis is going to want to go up to a 2nd and a 3rd copy of Thragtusk.
You know why Glenn Jones is awesome, besides being so handsome, is he walked over there and wrote down how they sideboarded.
Yep.
So instead of us playing the guessing game, we actually can just read it. Go.
He is
Well,
kinda-
hold on. I have to stop you. Now, last time that Glenn Jones did sideboard coverage,
We were led astray.
we were led astray. We were told Primeval Titans would not be in Travis Wu's deck.
And then he just beats the crap out of his opponent with a Primeval
with a
Titan.
Primeval Titan. So we're going to see how Glenn did this time. So Patrick, if you will.
We are looking at, from Travis's sideboard, -1 copy of Silverheart and -2 copies of the answer to the trivia question, for +2 copies of Thragtusk and +1 copy of Craterhoof Behemoth. On Quinn Kennedy's side of the table, we have -2 Sign in Blood, -2 Metamorph, and -1 Falconwrath Aristocrat, for 3 copies of Bonfire of the Damned and 2 copies of Zealous Conscripts.
Okay.
I'm a little surprised, like, cutting Aristocrat, because Wu's deck's actually a little soft to flyers.
I'm a little surprised by a couple of things here, to be honest with you. I'm a little surprised to see Sword of Feast and Famine go, especially when he's on the play. I'm surprised. Yeah, going on the draw would be another story. I'm a little surprised to see an addition of an 8-mana spell against zombies, too, in Craterhoof Behemoth.
Well, I think that the issue is that he has to take a defensive position and then needs to be able to kill in one shot. So what Behemoth allows him to do is sort of like sit back on defense the whole time and then just win the game in one spill. Like we saw that earlier when the lack of Craterhoof Behemoth when we had Corbett Gray on camera, where against the blue-black Wormcoil deck, where his second Zenith basically didn't do anything relevant. If he had a Behemoth, he would have been able to kill in one shot, even though he had been hit by a Wormcoil multiple times.
As we see a tragic slip on Travis's Arbor Elf there. I mean, I understand like where you're coming from. We'll see 2 more 1-drops too, Averson's Pilgrims. But at the same time, like, do you really want an 8-mana spell against this deck, number 1? And number 2, like, do you really think that you can realistically play the control deck in this matchup? And I don't think that it's something that he can realistically do. When you have access to a ton of Thragtusk and like a ton of Primeval Titans and Wolfir Silverhearts and Sword of Feast and Famine, it seems like you have a lot better ways to go about winning the game.
I mean, possibly, but I do think that Bang, Palladium Mirror,
The Soul Ring guy,
Soul Ring guy.
or as Glenn Jones calls him, Power Stone Dude. So I need to think of something a little bit more creative as we see.
Oh boy.
2
Here we go.
Paragraph Ghouls. Does Travis have a way? There is land number 4. That is going to be Primeval Titan number 1.
Bang.
Bang. Choo Choo Train. Search I may.
I'm a little surprised that he didn't tap the Avacyn's Pilgrim and then get 2 Glimmer Posts here and then playing the Glimmer Post first. It seems like you want to stand back until you've gotten more copies out. I guess it doesn't matter unless it's going to be. Yeah, no, you lose some amount of life, right?
Yeah, I mean, it also depends on what's in his hand, because like right there, like I personally would have searched for, I think, like the second Glimmer Post and then a Razorverge Thicket to be able to activate Township.
Yep.
So that when you catch your next Titan, you're able to get 2 Glimmer Posts at the same time to gain 8 life.
Right.
Now, like the amount of life that he can gain is like wonky,
Yeah.
and like not the way that it's supposed to be. So I'm a little bit surprised by that. I mean, we'll see what happens. He could just have the other Glimmer Post in his hand, and I don't have all of the information.
Sure. Yeah.
As we saw, go for the throat on the Primeval Titan, taking care of that problem, and we're going to see an Elvish Archdruid off the screen, and then the ability to activate Gavny Township.
So now we're in Plan B, kind of the Green Summer deck, which is just jamming Gavny Township over and over again.
Yes, as much as possible. Blood Artist is not a bad draw, but Quinn is stuck on lands, and because of Gavny Township, no real good attacks here.
Yeah, you can't attack this turn, and then it becomes harder and harder. Well, I guess we can attack this turn. I would not advise it.
I would not advise it.
We are technically allowed to attack. I would avoid doing so right now. You just want to let this go, Quinn.
Well, Travis has never blocked faster.
All right, well, that was a surprising chump attack.
I mean, it does get 2 Blood Artist triggers to occur.
Feels like you can get that at some other point.
Yeah.
It's like it's never not going to be that way.
Travis is counting as mana. I love the mana count because that means like
something awesome is
something absolutely just terrible is about to happen to me. He's counting it again and again and again. It's got to be Crater Hoof. Why would one man count all that mana?
I don't think.
It's not Crater Hoof Behemoth. I guess it's to see how many times he can activate Township. As it looks like he played in one of his 1-mana accelerants off of the screen, one of the 16 that he has in his deck. So.
And now we're going to town, and I think Travis is going to start turning it on now, like actually going on the offense. Or not.
I guess he's just going to activate Township again next turn and then shove in. I'm a little surprised, I suppose, at no attack that turn.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, he gets to activate Township again this turn, putting 3 counters on the 3 guys on screen and then a second one on the guy off screen.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to do a little bit of math to see why he would hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I mean, on his next turn, when he's attacking next turn, his Elvish Archer is going to be a 6/6. Palladium is going to be a 6/6. Evanston's Pilgrim is going to be a 5/5. So see Dross Messenger hit enter play, putting Travis down to 13. And then his off-screen guy is going to be a 5/5, potentially a 6/6 if it is an elf for Elvish Archer.
Yeah, I think that if he shoves, then he shoved last turn and didn't Township. Is this lethal right now?
And the other card on top is Evanston's Pilgrim. This is a what looks to be a lethal attack. But I mean, Blood Artist is going to get the opportunity to block.
Sure.
So we're going to see an attack with some number of creatures this turn. I think it's time to just move in, my friend.
Yeah. All right, here they come.
We're going to see Blood Artist block the biggest guy, which is either Palladium Mirror or Elvish Archer, and a Township activation, putting counters everywhere, including on the fresh Birds of Paradise. Blood Artist, there is going to be a drain for Blood Artist here, putting Travis down to 12. But Quinn is going to be taking a boatload of damage, and he's just going to have a Dross Messenger, a Mortarpod, and 3 lands in play, and none of those lands tap for a red, of course.
Yeah.
So it seems
we will be going to a third game.
It seems we will be going to a third game, yes.
We're just trying to figure out. We have 11 Township damage, 12, 13, 14, 15, minus a 1 drain. So he should be, I believe, my count, he has him fallen to 6 here. Is it Perish?
Perish doesn't kill Palladium Mirror, dog. Perish does not kill Palladium Mirror, baby. As we're going to be shuffling up for a game 3 here.
Yep. And then the way that I kind of expect that matchup to go off on the play, even though Kennedy won the won the first game. I feel like a lot has to break right for him. Like he has to have pressure plus a ton of the cheap spot removal. He's got a lot of cards and draw. Like if he has a lot of removal but no pressure, eventually Wu is going to just start to be able to start casting Theritos and Primeval Titans. And if he has pressure but no removal, then Wu is just going to be able to quickly curve into something that goes over the top of what Kennedy's doing. So
Yes.
the specific type of draw that Kennedy needs, he needs a very specific mix of stuff.
Agreed. Agreed.
In that first game, he definitely had it. Like he had a good amount of pressure early, some spot removal to get a Primeval Titan off the board. He had some endgame inevitability, plus additional removal in the form of Mortapod, Gravecaller, Blood Artist. All the pieces kind of fitted together very nicely.
Yeah.
And in the second game, you saw like he actually, like he had a couple kill spells early on. It wasn't like Travis was going uncontested doing his thing, but he was still like he has a ton of mana accelerator. So just turning one of those guys doesn't necessarily get it done.
So look, both players are just shuffling again, so that doesn't look like there's going to be any changes to the sideboard. I think Quinn may be looking things through a little bit here, but I don't think there's going to be any changes for this particular game. So I think Quinn being on the play game 3, rather big deal, because then he can have the draws where he goes, turn one, Diagraph Ghoul, turn 2, like Fume Spitter your guy, play like another guy, and keep attacking, that sort of thing. As Glenn Jones, ladies and gentlemen, comes to the booth, lets us know that he's going to change a little bit here.
Math doesn't add up.
The math doesn't add up. Okay, the math now adds up. Glenn Jones.
We have an aristocrat. We have apparently an aristocrat coming back into the deck, and one of the zealous conscripts leaving.
Okay.
I wonder if that's because of actual player draw, or because he's just a little gun shy after stalling on lands and missing red mana that game.
I mean, it's a good question.
Like it seems like in theory, zealous conscripts gets better on the play, not worse.
I would agree with that, especially because Travis has some nice things to take.
Yeah.
He has, some
nice
Thraktos, some Titans. He's got some nice things to steal and give the beatdowns with. So we'll see what happens. If Travis is ready to go, bundled up.
Just ready for the impending snowstorm. I'm not sure if any of you have seen the weather reports, but Portland actually has been in the middle of a blizzard right now. So Travis, the only person who came prepared. As we get ready for the third and final game of our Standard Open here in Portland,
where we will be crowning a champion.
Will it either be Quinn Kennedy with another notch in the belt for Black Red Zombies in the Star City Open Series, or will it be time for a Green Summer?
The leader of the Travis Wu contingent.
Yeah, the front man of the band himself.
That's right.
It's actually just a band like the White Stripes with Corbett banging away on the drums. Travis Wu providing all the talent.
It's actually
All right, turn one Black Leaf, listen to Gravecrawler.
It's actually Mouse Rat. That's who it is. As we see, no turn 1 play from Travis, which seems borderline impossible given that he has 16 one mana accelerants in his deck.
Yeah.
Which begs the question:
how did he keep 7?
Yeah, what did he keep? I mean, if he doesn't have one of the 1 mana accelerants, then he almost certainly has Green Sun Zenith for 1. As we see a Fume Spitter, and the beatdowns. This is the exact draw that Quinn had to have in this game.
Right. This is pretty much perfect.
He's got an aggressive start. He has an answer to the first mana accelerant in Fume Spitter, and if he has like Land Draws Messenger or something next turn, things are just going to spiral out of control quickly.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to hope that he basically has to hope that Kennedy's on E here. Like he can't have much more left.
And we're going to see a Green Sun Zenith here. So think about what his options are going to be.
I mean, you just get whatever the worst mana accelerator is, right? Because it's 99.99% to just die.
Well, the only one that you don't want to get is Birds of Paradise. Because if you get birds, then he gets to attack with Fume Spitter.
Yes.
Like deal you a point of damage and then kill it. So just any of your 1 power guys is the one that you're going to want to get. We're going to see a Mortapod here. So Mortapod's going to clear that out of the way. And so Fume Spitter is going to be left on the table to be able to take care of something. So pretty good.
Although it does potentially represent that Kennedy is out of like, if he had like a very good follow up play, like more 2-power guys or a messenger or something, you would assume that he would use that here instead of using his turn casting mortar pod.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a third land also, so that's at least sort of a glimmer of hope for Wu here.
Agreed. Now, if there's one card that can turn this game around, it is going to be Thragtusk. It's just, can Travis get there in time?
Yeah. I mean, if he has an Archdruid, then he's got a shot at being able to get there next turn.
Yeah, Archdruid or Palladium both will do just fine in a pinch, but again, he has to be able to get there in time. And so we have a Zenith for 1.
Although again, he's still, even if Kennedy misses his land drop, even if Wu has 2 accelerants, he can still Fume Spitter 1 and
Hasty Fume Spitter.
Yeah, I would have at least
untap and draw.
Yeah,
see what you find.
If you drew a Mortar Pod, you presumably would want to just do what you did last turn. Falling to 9. Another Gravecrawler, but still no Messenger.
Yeah, still no Messenger.
Thragtusk still gives us a glimmer of hope here.
Yeah, I mean, 2 turns away. 2 turns away. Quinn has red mana as well, so all of his Brimstone Volleys are live. The potential of, a Falkenrath Aristocrat is there. It's going to be a tough one for Travis to win, I think.
All right, there's a Glimmer Post.
It's going to move Travis up to 10. Zenith
for 3. You're going to find an Archdruid. Now we just got to hope.
Yeah, I mean, he can't. I would believe that he can't block this turn. I'm not positive, but there's a 4th land slammed right into play. As it stands, this is an attack for 6, putting Travis down to 4. A Gravecrawler and Mortarpod activation, putting Travis down to 3. He can move he can move Mortarpod twice, putting him down to potentially 1 life this turn.
Yep. I mean, I can't imagine. I don't know how Wu's not dead here because Kennedy's stalled on land, so they're not lands, they're spells.
They're spells, sure.
And I'm not sure what spells he can beat. He's going to take the whole hit here and fall to 4.
I mean, one of this is going to shoot that.
And then bonfire for 1. Okay.
And then get back his Gravecrawler, likely. Yep.
So
it's going to put him down to 3, so it's pretty much got to be Thragtusk here.
Yeah.
There's your 5th line. There's your Bird's Paradise. Yep, that's not going to do it. I think we have ourselves a champion, my friends.
Yep. Just get your Gravecrawlers in there, man.
As Quinn has 2 cards in his hand. Gravecrawlers are coming on in.
There it is.
That is it. Quinn Kennedy.
Travis Wu. An impressive weekend. Came up just a little bit short there. Had a what appeared to be Wu kept a